Okay. And are there any other issues that we haven't raised against retail tonight that you want to raise with us in terms of us taking our policy approach forward? The gentleman here.
We've touched on, in dealing with other issues, potential conflicts between residents and shops. I would ask the City Council, in developing a policy to help retail to remember residents, there is potential conflict over deliveries, very often unforeseen. To take an example from outside Westminster, when Barker's became Whole Foods, and the occasional truck full of clothes turned into several trucks a day of fresh food, there was immense difficulty for local residents, and it simply wasn't factored in when the planning decision was made. That sort of thing can be a big problem. The other issue is principally A4 and A5, but to a lesser extent other A-class uses coming into proximity with residents in the context of I would suggest, yet to be fully fleshed out policy on Westminster's part for the nighttime economy, particularly outside areas that have been specifically targeted, like Soho.
Okay, thank you.
It's perhaps an area for Section 106 attention when dealing with applications for quite large new shopping areas. For example, something of the size of Cardinal Place. So.
Hi. I just wanted to touch on, obviously, quite a lot of the matters discussed tonight, and from a developer's perspective, whilst we're wholly supportive and subscribe to obviously a lot of the policy, I think again it comes back to viability, and I think even on especially independence is that we fully respect the conservation areas, and I think there's a point well made early on that that drives the developer down the track, that I think to conserve and keep the context and setting and that kind of environment, then it lends itself to independent traders. But there's got to be a trade-off with other aspects of larger retail space and uses, especially on primary kind of frontages. So I think from a developer's perspective, I think it's understanding that Westminster fully understand and can engage with retailers to understand what the offer is and what the need is for all of these things, because it's a melting pot, and I think it's to understand the whole framework and not just pockets all around. And I think as long as there's a cogent framework, I think that's what we really support driving forwards.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Connell.
Yeah, I wanted to ask for consideration to be given to an area where I don't think we do have a policy, but where we might consider having one. And it's about the provision of NNDR relief for charity shops. So I think as things stand currently, charity shops moving into an area will get relief on 75 or 80% of their NNDR, and very often come to the council for discretionary relief on the remainder. And those decisions are made largely on the grounds of the nature of the charity and so on. I think it'd be a sensible idea for us to consider the wider spatial impacts of a concentration of charity shops, in particular secondary streets where we've got a concentration.
Okay, thank you. Right, were there any other points anybody wanted to raise tonight?
Okay. Well, thanks very much indeed for your time. It's quite a 3 hours of quite intensive discussion I think we've had, and we're very grateful to you for your time. Can you just quickly outline what the next steps are? So I think it's important that you feel you can feed through into this process, and people who might listen to the 3 hours worth of debate feel they can feed into the process, and then how that will translate hopefully into our policy.
Absolutely. I mean, the recordings of the workshops, as I said, will be going on the web. If there's any of your colleagues or other people who couldn't make along tonight, feel free, or if you want to review what got said, please also feel free to write into us at the ldf@westminster.gov.uk website. And then we are holding 11 of these workshops, and as I've said at some of the other workshops, we'll probably take a break after that. So please don't expect us to get back to you before September. We most certainly haven't forgotten. It's just the timing of when we're doing this work. We will get back to all of you, and I hope you've all left your details. All of the people who came along tonight, we'll get back to you with a summary of what we think the key points that were made tonight. If you want to put your support against the point made by another person, then that would be welcomed. Or if you want to raise further issues, please do so. Our preference will be before the end of August, so that we can include it in the letters that we send out sometime after August. But again, this is an ongoing discussion, and if you've got any suggestions about other formats in which you may want to discuss the policies with us, please feel free to get in touch with us, and we can make arrangements for that. This is the start of the process of the development of the policy. This is sort of our first hit, if you like, but we're very open to ongoing consultation and discussion.
And is there a list somewhere of the other workshops? Because we've already identified this evening that we've talked already about some of the things that have come up, but also going forward there'll be overlap. Is that's
available? Right. That's available on our website, and I think, Hilary, do you know the link?
Okay,
I think if you search for City Management Plan, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Or again, just send an email to the LDF email address that I've said, and we can send you back the link. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much.